It was supposed to be a simple corporate party, cheap wine, bad music, fake smiles. The kind where everyone pretends they want to be there while counting the minutes until they can escape. I'd been to dozens before. They all blur together in a haze of polyester ties and forced laughter. But this one branded itself into my memory with a hot fucking iron. My wife Rachel showed up in a blouse so tight it could have filed for assault. Fire engine red, cut low enough to make HR sweat, hugging every curve like it was getting paid by the inch. I noticed the looks immediately, the subtle head turns from the IT guys, the not-so-subtle stares from accounting. Whatever. I was used to it. Rachel had always dressed to be seen. Jesus, Rachel. You planning on catching pneumonia tonight? I muttered as she air-kissed my cheek, leaving a smear of crimson lipstick that matched her top. Don't be such a prude, Mark. It's a party. She rolled her eyes, already scanning the room over my shoulder. Besides, I work with these people too. I'm allowed to look nice. Nice wasn't the word I'd use. Weaponized felt more accurate. I grabbed a plastic cup of what the company tried to pass off as Merlot, probably came from a box with a spigot, and found a corner to lean against. The music pulsed, some generic playlist of hits from 5 years ago, loud enough to make conversation difficult but not impossible. Perfect for avoiding small talk. Rachel didn't share my aversion to mingling. Within minutes, she was working the room, laughing too loud, touching arms, flipping that mahogany hair she spent more on monthly than our first car payment. I nursed my shitty wine and watched. It was fine. This was her routine at these things. Until Derek fucking Chambers materialized beside her. Derek. My boss. 6'2" of designer suits and management buzzwords. The kind of guy who talks about synergy with a straight face and has a framed MBA from an online university. The kind of guy who calls me sport even though I'm 37. The kind of guy who's been eyeing my wife's ass since the Christmas party 3 years ago. I watched her gravitational pull shift immediately. Her laugh got higher, her posture straighter, her hands more animated. She was performing now. And he was eating it up. They look cozy, said a voice beside me. Jen from HR, holding her own plastic cup, her expression neutral but her eyes sharp. Just office politics, I said, taking another swig of wine that tasted like fermented cough syrup. Jen's hum wasn't convinced. Well, your wife's very charming. Derek seems to think so, anyway. I didn't respond. What was I supposed to say? Yeah, my boss wants to fuck my wife, and she's giving him every green light short of a written invitation. Instead, I nodded and mumbled something about getting a refill. For the next hour, I rotated between awkward conversations about weekend plans I didn't have and silent observation of the Rachel and Derek show. They were inseparable now. He'd lean in too close, whisper something, and she'd throw her head back like he was the reincarnation of George Carlin. I could see her hand on his forearm, lingering after each punchline. I could see him angling his body to create a private bubble around them. I could see his eyes drop to her cleavage every 30 seconds like he was checking a goddamn watch. I played it cool. Sipped my drink. Told myself it was harmless. Office flirtation happens. Rachel gets attention wherever she goes, it's part of why I married her, isn't it? That magnetism. That confidence. Besides, we'd been together 8 years. Rock solid. Unbreakable. What a fucking joke. Around 10 p.m., it happened. Derek was gesturing with his wine glass, telling some bullshit story about his golf game or his stock portfolio or whatever the hell he thought made him interesting. His hand moved too wide, or exactly as wide as he intended, and a wave of Cabernet splashed directly down Rachel's chest. A perfect crimson stream, right between her breasts, staining the red blouse darker. Oh shit, I'm so sorry. His face was all concern, but his eyes, His eyes were lit up like it was Christmas morning and he'd just unwrapped exactly what he asked for. Rachel gasped dramatically, looking down at the spreading stain. "Oh no! This is silk." "Come with me," he said, smirking that rat bastard smirk of his. "We'll find something to clean it up." He placed his hand on the small of her back, too low, almost grazing her ass, and guided her toward the hallway that led to the storage rooms. "And Rachel? My wife?" She fucking giggled. Giggled. Like a schoolgirl being pulled behind the bleachers. And followed him out of the main room like a dog chasing steak. The party continued around me. Someone changed the music to something with more bass. The marketing team started an impromptu dance circle. The temp from accounting threw up in a potted plant. Normal corporate party shit. But I couldn't focus on any of it. My eyes were glued to the hallway door. 5 minutes passed. Then 10. Then 15. The music kept thumping, but I couldn't hear it over the pounding in my skull. A vein in my temple throbbed with each beat of my heart, pumping acid through my veins instead of blood. I finished my wine. Grabbed another. Downed it in 3 gulps. "You okay, Mark?" It was Jen again, her eyes narrowed in what could have been concern or curiosity. "Peachy," I replied, my voice sandpaper. "Your wife and Derek have been gone a while," she observed, not even trying to be subtle now. "Maybe they're discussing my performance review," I said, the words coated in poison. Jen's eyebrows shot up. "Just, be careful, Mark. Derek has a reputation. So does my wife, apparently." I pushed off the wall I'd been holding up for the last 20 minutes and made my way across the room. Each step felt mechanical, like my body was on autopilot while my brain short-circuited. The hallway was dimly lit, with office doors lining both sides. At the end was the supply closet, more of a storage room, really, where they kept everything from printer paper to cleaning supplies. The door was cracked open slightly. Just an inch or two. Enough. And what I heard? It made my stomach flip, then drop, then dissolve completely. Her voice. Loud. Breathless. Punctuated by small gasps and moans that I recognized from our own bedroom, though I'd never heard them with this particular desperation. "God, Derek. Yes, right there. You're so much better than my husband." A male grunt. A rhythmic squeaking. "Your tool is magic. Fuck, don't stop, harder." I stood there, frozen, blood rushing in my ears. Part of me wanted to kick the door open, to confront them, to scream until my lungs collapsed. Part of me wanted to burn the whole building down with them inside. Instead, I pushed the door open silently. And there she was, bent over a mop sink, fingers gripping the edge for leverage, hair wrapped around his fist like a leash, blouse torn open exposing her breasts, skirt bunched around her waist. And there he was, my boss, pants around his ankles, pelvis slapping against her ass, while he pounded her like they were the only 2 people on earth. For one crystallized moment, I took in every detail. The sweat beading on his forehead. The mascara smudged under her eyes. The way her wedding ring glinted under the fluorescent lights each time he thrust forward. They didn't notice me at first. They were too lost in each other, in their betrayal, in their fucking. Then Rachel's eyes fluttered open, heavy-lidded with pleasure, and locked with mine. For a split second, I saw it register. Saw the realization crawl across her face like a spider. Saw her mouth open to form words that would never matter. I didn't say a word. I didn't scream or cry or throw punches. I simply closed the door with a soft click and walked away. And I started planning. The party wound down around 11:30. Rachel reappeared about 20 minutes after I'd found them, her hair hastily fixed, fresh lipstick applied over swollen lips. Derek came back separately, 10 minutes later, his tie perfectly straightened like he'd practiced the motion 1,000 times. She avoided my eyes the whole ride home. Talked about how much fun the party was, how nice everyone had been, how we should do this more often. She was overcompensating, talking too fast, laughing at nothing. I responded with one-word answers, my mind already miles ahead, assembling pieces like a puzzle. That night, she tried to touch me in bed. Maybe guilt, maybe cover, maybe she was still worked up from her storage room adventure. I pretended to be asleep. The next morning, I called in sick to work. Said I had food poisoning from the party catering. As soon as Rachel left for her job, admin assistant at a law firm across town, I got to work. First, I got the security footage. Easy, I had a buddy in maintenance, Sal, who owed me after I helped him move apartments last summer. No questions asked. Sal wasn't the prying type anyway. Building security cameras? Sure, I can get you access. Server rooms got footage going back 3 months, he told me, sliding me a USB with admin credentials. You looking for something specific? Just curious about a missing jacket, I lied smoothly. The footage was better than I'd hoped. Multiple angles. Audio wasn't great, but their actions spoke loud enough. I downloaded everything from the hallway and storage room cameras, spanning from when they first disappeared to when they emerged separately. Back home, I cropped it down to the best 30 seconds, the moaning, the quotes, the raw betrayal. Perfect HD evidence of workplace misconduct, adultery, and the destruction of my marriage. I added subtitles to highlight Rachel's complimentary comparisons between Derek and myself. A nice touch, I thought. Then I uploaded it to a password-protected folder labeled Training Materials on an anonymous cloud account. Professional. Sterile. Like an HR training video on what not to do at office functions. Finding Derek's wife wasn't difficult. Miranda Chambers. She was all over his social media, the perfect corporate wife, with her tennis club membership and charity gala photos. I had her email from the company Christmas card list. Simple. I sent the link to the video folder. With no message. Just the title, Your Husband's Latest Leadership Demo. Password included. Nothing else needed. The video would speak for itself. She filed for divorce in 48 hours. Record time, really. I heard through the office grapevine that she'd hired the most cutthroat divorce attorney in the city and was going for his 401k, his stock options, even the fucking lake house. But I wasn't done. Not by a long shot. I anonymously forwarded the clip to HR with the subject line, Hostile Work Environment, Sexual Misconduct on Company Property. Added a note about potential liability issues. Corporations hate liability issues more than they hate bad quarterly reports. Derek was suspended by end of business that day. Under investigation. His corporate email autoreply said he was on temporary leave, but everyone knew. Word travels fast when it's juicy enough. I showed up to work the next day like nothing happened. Nodded at colleagues. Accepted their awkward sympathies with a tight smile. These things happen, I said, playing the dignified cuckold perfectly. What they didn't see was me staying late. After everyone had gone home. After the cleaning crew had come and gone. I went into Derek's office, still accessible with my keycard, an oversight from IT. I wiped his calendar, deleting every meeting, every reminder, every conference call for the next 6 months. I corrupted his quarterly sales reports, not enough to be obvious, just enough to show a gradual 8% decline that would raise questions during his eventual performance review. I changed settings in his email to randomly delay outgoing messages, ensuring he'd miss deadlines without knowing why. Then I took the printed transcript of Rachel's storage room monologue, every harder and faster and better than my husband, meticulously time-stamped, and taped it to the inside of his desk drawer where only he would find it. A private reminder of what had cost him everything. I quit the next day. Simple resignation letter. 2 weeks' notice that I had no intention of working. Unused vacation days would cover it. HR understood, under the circumstances. Rachel tried calling. 17 missed calls that night. 43 text messages ranging from, "We need to talk," to, "You're overreacting," to, "It was just physical, it meant nothing." The classic cheater's handbook, page by page. Said I misunderstood. That it was mistake. That she'd been drinking and lonely because I worked too much. I sent her the clip. No commentary needed. The fallout was biblical. Her law firm, with its family values senior partners, didn't appreciate the viral video that eventually leaked of their administrative assistant starring in storage room porn. Funny how things find their way online. She was terminated for conduct unbecoming. She showed up at our house, my house now, with mascara tracks down her face and promises of change. I'd changed the locks. She shouted through the door until the neighbors called the police. The divorce papers cited irreconcilable differences, because my wife fucked my boss in a janitor's closet and told him he was better in bed, isn't an official legal category. Her attorney suggested a 50-50 split of assets. Mine countered with the video. We settled at 90/10 in my favor within a week. She's now jobless, homeless, and dumped. Last I heard, she was living with her sister in Tucson, waiting tables at an airport bar. Sometimes karma doesn't need a push, just a gentle nudge in the right direction. And Derek? His 20-year career imploded in 20 seconds of footage. No severance. No references. No lake house or 401k, thanks to Miranda's attorney. He's selling insurance in a strip mall now. Lives in a one-bedroom apartment with vertical blinds and a view of the dumpsters. And me? I've never been cleaner, 'cause sometimes the filth just needs a mop and a cold heart. I moved states. Changed careers. Dating app matches are plentiful when you're the wronged party with a healthy bank account and zero emotional baggage. I don't do relationships anymore. Just connections that last exactly as long as they're useful. Sometimes I watch the video. Not for arousal or even anger anymore. Just as a reminder that trust is a luxury I can no longer afford. The company still sends me my final pay stub sometimes. I frame it next to the divorce decree. A matching set of endings that led to my new beginning. Cold. Clean. Complete.